93 WIBC. It is Terry, Stacy. This is so funny. Our next guest, I just figured out that we know one another. College Goal Sunday is coming up just right around the corner. And in the blink of an eye, your kids are going to be making that transition to adulthood. And joining us now is a mom. She's a military wife. She's a writer and photographer. Been doing that over 25 years. And she has just published an easy-to-use organizer and guide to actually staying afloat in a sea of paperwork for young working adults. And it's also for college students. It's called Student Life Jacket. And joining us now is the author, Susan M. Sparks. We put the M in there. It's very important because there's another Susan Sparks. You don't want to get them confused. Susan, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my gosh. Susan is from Shirley, Indiana. I grew up in Knightstown, and we both funneled through that Knightstown system. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
This is pretty cool. When I read your credentials, I knew that you had to be somebody who is very organized because you're a mom and a military wife. How many moves across the world have you made with your family?
Oh, gosh. Over 20 years, we did about 8 to 10 moves. Some were just the temporary moves where you stayed somewhere for about 6 weeks while your furniture and household goods caught up with you. Moved overseas twice, so that's always tricky. And but yeah, it kept me on my toes.
I'll tell you, you maybe a travel book is in your future. Because
That's right.
You could certainly do that. And were you organized to begin with? Were you one of those born organizers, or did you kind of just have to figure it out as you went because you moved so much?
I was not a born organizer, but as time went on, I understand the importance of systems and how that can keep us on track. And from those military moves, there were documents that absolutely had to be with you. You couldn't pack them away and wait for them to show up in 6 weeks or so, like I said, when we moved overseas. So I came up with my own little organizing system of a binder with different categories and put the papers in it, and it worked so well. Just every little stop, whether it was to get a house, get our household goods, get our car registered, all I had to do was flip to the page and pull out the papers. And it was great. I wasn't fumbling around and such. So from that is where I got the idea. As my kids grew up, my son especially had receipts all over the room, piled on his dresser, some on his nightstand.
Yeah.
I said, what are you doing with those? He says, well, I don't know. I'm supposed to keep them. And from that, the Student Life Jacket was born.
It sounds like you're married to my husband, who's 53, by the way, and he's still leaving receipts all over the place. He could use the Student Life Jacket.
Okay, well, there's no age limit on it, so, certainly good.
Okay. People might wonder, in this day and age with everything that we can put on our smartphones or our laptops, what type of paperwork do kids need to have in this day and age?
Well, there's still the basic papers that you need, like your birth certificate, Social Security card. Obviously, those things aren't digital yet. And as they're applying for a job or student aid or any of those types of things, they need to prove, who they are. So that's something that mom and dad has usually tucked away safely, and now they're going off to college, and you don't want them calling home going, gosh, I need my birth certificate, or I need my Social Security card right now. And they're, 3 hours away. You can't normally get that to them. So this is a way to help them be prepared. I've had parents buy the book, and then they go through it, work through it with their college-bound student, or even if they're just moving out on their own for the first time. And then they can get all those papers organized, understand why they need them, what they would need them for, and where to store them.
I think it's a great idea. I think it would be a great wedding gift. I really do, because I could have used something like this. It's about money, health, career, life. So it is all-encompassing. It's called the Student Life Jacket. And it also, you call this organizer, you put this all together with a little bit of motherly advice. What type of motherly advice is in this book?
Well, there's a little bit from the importance of thank you notes, or, should you get a tattoo, and types of things that maybe you wouldn't want to talk to your own parents about, but you'd like that motherly input type of thing.
Yeah.
Money is a big hot button for a lot of people. So there's some things about money rules that young people don't understand, that they can create their own rules about money, like how much I will spend, or maybe I'll just buy one fancy coffee a week, even if my friends are buying one every day. That empowers them to think for themselves how they're going to save and spend their money, how they're going to manage their social life? Are they going to be out every night? Are they going to, say Thursday night or nothing? Or, it just helps them think these things through before they get to school or be on their own and all of a sudden go, gosh, I never thought about that before.
Yeah. As I mentioned, College Goal Sunday is just right around the corner, and kids are going to be headed to college very quickly. Once again, I mean, this particular time of the year is going to go very quickly, and then before you know it, they're off to college for that very first time. And so you've done this. What are some ways that parents can handle this transition to college experience?
Well, I think working through things together is a great way. That way there's no surprises on either end, and it helps open up a conversation about, how many times are you going to come home? Or, as parents, a lot of times you think, oh, gosh, come home every chance you get, whereas it might be better for the student to get more active in college and not come home, kind of agree on that before